Never did I imagine that I would find myself in the center of a love triangle. Now, both individuals are vying for my attention, and I find myself drawn to each of them. Does this sound like you? Hello, my friend. My name is Precious Olalere, and I want to welcome you to the Court of Love podcast, where we rule on matters of the heart using biblical principles. In this episode, we are going to be answering another question from Instagram. Yes, Instagram. Now, this question is from a lady that is torn between choosing between a current boyfriend who is broke and unavailable and a new guy that she just met who is available but is screaming all the red flags. So before we dive into this juicy conversation, I'm going to go ahead and read the question. My boyfriend and I have been dating exclusively since 2019, but on a long distance level. We have our quarrels sometimes, but he's such a sweet man, very caring and sacrificial too. Problems I have are he doesn't have a good job and as such doesn't have close to enough, talk of much. He earns 20k as a receptionist, but even from the little he has, he shares with me. Also, he is never around. Since 2019, we've only seen each other 5 times, which is the most difficult part. We are not getting younger. We are both 28. And I really want to get married. I've dreamt of my life as a successful businesswoman or wife and mother since I was 16, but at this point, he cannot afford to feed or house himself, talk more of a family. When this year began, one of my prayer points was for God to bless us so that we can get married. December of last year, I met with a guy I've been in on and off communication with for 5 years because every time he asks me out, I tell him I'm in a relationship. We went out to get drinks, and since then, I've started to feel something for him, and I've been in constant communication since then. This man works offshore and does well for himself. We don't live in the same city, but he comes to see me every month since last year. I notice that when I'm with him, he's the sweetest, makes sure I'm comfortable and all. The problems I have with this one is that he's very controlling and very hard-handed with money. He gives me money sometimes, but we always make references to the time he gives. He's petty too when it comes to money, and it's embarrassing sometimes when we are out. Also, when he's at work, he gets upset easily, rude, and uses insults when we have arguments. Did I mention that he's very, very controlling? Yes, my darling, you did that already. Yes, he's also insecure. I'm very confused about this. While my boyfriend is broke and unavailable, I see him as my ideal man. But then there is this other guy who has these bad qualities but is available and at least provides more than my boyfriend. I don't know what to do. I just really want my own man and also be at peace. What do I do? Now, this is a very interesting scenario because the problem here for me, I think, is a choosing problem. And I know that a lot of ladies are often faced with this dilemma of, choosing between 2 potential partners. And so in this episode, I'll be sharing with you some of the key factors that you really need to consider when you are choosing between 2 potential partners, with the hopes that it's going to answer this lady's question and even every other lady out there that might be faced with this particular situation. So the first thing I would say is, what do you want in life or in a relationship? When torn between 2 guys, it's first important for you to identify what you really want out of life and what you want in a relationship. Like this lady had said, she wanted marriage or she wants to be married, and she and her current boyfriend are of the same age. While this other guy, we don't know what his age is, but I assume it might be of a good age for her to be considering him. However, it's very important for you to be very clear on what you want. And when I say clear on what you want, I'm talking about what are your values, what are your principles, what are those things that you hold there? Do they align with this current guy? I assume that you're already aligned with your current boyfriend. That's why you are together. However, the marriage is not aligning. So I would say imagine the best version of yourself. You living out and doing the things that you really wanted to do. Like you said, you wanted to be a businesswoman, a successful businesswoman and a wife. Imagine that you're actually living out this dream that you wanted. And you are doing all the things that makes you feel good. Now, who do you see by your side achieving all of these things, celebrating victories together, preferring solutions to the problems that come up in your business? Who do you see yourself with in this moment of letdowns and doubts? Yes, who do you see? I think picturing this is going to give you a clear indication of who you truly, truly see yourself being married to. If it's your current boyfriend, then that might be the answer that you need. But if it's with this other guy, then that might be an issue, which I'm going to talk about in the next point. How does each man make you feel about yourself? Now, trust me, this is about you. What you want to be married and you also want to be respected, but clearly the second guy in this situation does not respect you. He's able to provide for you financially, but is not respectful of you. He doesn't value you, because clearly a guy that values you will not embarrass you outside. The man you choose as your partner should be able to make you feel happy and want to be the best version of yourself. Clearly this other guy that you are with is not making you become the best version of yourself. However, is making you be the best version of yourself for him, because like you said, he is controlling, and a controlling guy has a tendency of becoming violent when you don't do things the way they want things to be done. So the person that you're willing to spend the rest of your life with should not make you feel small or unworthy or make you feel worthless or unvalued. The person should value you. The person should respect you. The person should be willing and able to make you feel loved. Clearly, this guy is not making you feel that love. The only thing that you are really enjoying is the financial benefits that comes with it. So what happens when that money is no longer there? Oh my goodness, this guy is going to treat you like trash. So ask yourself, which version of yourself do you like better when you are with both men? Do you like yourself? Do you like the version of yourself better when you are with your current boyfriend? Do you like the version of yourself when you are with this other guy that doesn't make you feel loved, that doesn't make you feel valued, that doesn't make you feel worthy of his love? Now, this might even be serious red flags that you are ignoring, which leads me to my third point. Beware of any red flags. It's clear from just reading this question that this second guy is screaming all the red flags in the book. Like literally, he's controlling. He's always reminding you of the past time that he has helped you. He embarrasses you outside. He has anger tendency. That means he has anger issues. He needs to work on his anger really before he even starts to bring a woman into his life. But we're not talking about the guy here. We're talking about you, the woman. I know that sometimes it's hard to see some of the things that they do as a red flag, especially if you don't pay attention. However, in this situation, you're not even paying so much attention, yet you can already tell all of these toxic traits that this guy has. That's a screaming red flag. Like literally, your mind is already even telling you that there's a problem here, because like you said in your question, you said he's very controlling and very handed with money. That's screaming stinginess. And then you mentioned again that, did I mention that he's very, very controlling? You mentioned it 2 times. That is like literally screaming at you that this is a red flag, but your mind has registered it. But I think that you have not yet comprehended what that means. And so these are some serious red flags that you really need to pay attention to. Your current relationship, you mentioned that this guy is a sweet man, very caring and sacrificial. Good green flags. And I'm sure that that's what made him your ideal man, right? The only thing with this, your boyfriend, is that he's financially unstable, which means that he cannot start a family yet. But this other guy that you're considering is screaming all the red flags. So you have to be very conscious of the decisions that you make and ensure that you're not jumping from a frying pan into fire. So, which one of them makes you feel safer? Clearly, is this your current boyfriend that makes you feel safer because he's screaming all the green flags in the book, except for the fact that he's financially unstable, which is something that is temporary. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be able to break through in this current situation that he is. He's just going through a phase right now. So in the long run, you want a man that is willing to make you feel comfortable and safe. You don't want to be around somebody that is controlling, has anger issues. Before you know it, it's going to turn very violent. That's not to say that he's a bad person, but that's to say that he needs to work on himself before he brings another human being into his space. If not, he's not going to be able to value and treat you the right way that you deserve. Okay? So do not ignore the red flags. What are the red flags that you're seeing? Clearly, the second guy is screaming out the red flags in the book. But then your current boyfriend is just his finances that he hasn't been able to put together, which is a temporary situation. Of course, he's still figuring out his life. And so if you know that you genuinely love this guy and he's your ideal man, I don't think there's any reason why you should be, jumping ships when he's still trying to sort out his life. Like, why? Even if you want to jump ship, jump to the correct one. Don't jump to the one that will sink. Jump to the one that has a direction, right? All right. Number 4, do not fall into the trap of comparison. The truth of the matter is where your current ideal boyfriend guy is strong, that is where this other guy is weak. And where this other guy is weak, that is where your other boyfriend is strong. And that's why it's very important for you not to compare two different people when you're trying to choose a particular partner, because no one is perfect. And so that's why you see that where your current ideal boyfriend is strong in terms of his character and the way he treats you, that's where this other guy is weak. And where your current boyfriend is weak, which is in his finances and getting his acts together, that's where this current guy is strong. And so you might be setting yourself up for a disaster if you are going for the money and for, the financial stability that this other guy comes with. Also be aware that you are going to be taking in all the baggage that is coming into the relationship with his controlling nature, his anger issues, and his, cruelty with money and how he hands you money. But then if you stay with this other guy, you'll be living a life where you are not fulfilled in terms of how you want your finances to look like in your adult life. So you have to be very careful about comparing both parties. If not, you're going to be making the wrong decision. Which is why I mentioned in my first point earlier that you need to be very clear on what you want in terms of your values, your principles. Clearly, this other new guy is totally not in alignment with your values and principles, because if you have issues with the way he controls you, you have issues with his anger, that means that you are somebody that do not want that kind of, behavior or character around you. And so don't compare them. They both have their unique strengths and weaknesses. And so comparing is going to just set you up for failure. Number 5, recognize that it is okay to walk away. Your attraction to them both might be because you're looking for the whole package and you're not finding it. And so whatever emotional gymnastics that you're trying to do in order to make this decision, you have to be prepared for the possibility that both men might not be for you. And so if you want, you can take a step back and simply not choose at all. Because like you mentioned, you're 28, you want to be married, but this current boyfriend that you are with is not even half there yet. And then this new guy has all the red flags in the book, but is financially available. It seems as if you have an impossible choice to make here, right? So it's okay if you want to walk away. I know it can be a very hard decision to make, especially because you've dedicated so much of your time with this current guy. But think about it. Do you want to dedicate the rest of your life to that guy? If your answer is yes, then you might as well go ahead. But if your answer is no, then you might maybe take a step back and kind of reevaluate what you really, truly desire in your life and what you truly desire in your life and in your relationship. Another thing is that your intuition never goes wrong. And like I like to say, for believers, that's the Holy Spirit prompting us and, guiding us and directing us on the right choices to make. And so one thing you can do about it is to pray. You can never go wrong with praying about it, asking for the guidance and the direction of God in who to choose and who not to choose. Another thing is, if you are struggling between two guys, you already know the answer. You are just afraid to make a choice. Yes. Most of the time, You already know the answer. Your heart and mind already know the answer already. You just have to make a choice. I know that you've probably put in a lot of energy into both guys, but the truth is neither might be the right one for you. All right, that's everything that I have for you today on this episode. So tell me, have you had to struggle with choosing between two men? How did you make that decision? If you did make a decision, and looking back now, did you think you made the right decision? Make sure to leave a comment and share your thoughts on this particular topic. Till I come your way again next week, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you be the first person to get notified when I make a new upload next week. Thank you so much for listening. Till I come your way again next week, Friday. Stay blessed.